What's up, everybody? Nice mouth. Hand hearts, everyone. Welcome to the Barney History Fans live stream. I think this is our, Kaylin, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is our first live stream at all
since
this
Christmas.
We
Since the holiday season, yeah.
Yeah, but that was also still December of last year. So usually we do at least two, including the holiday one. But this is our first one that we've done. So we've been kind of slacking on that end. So we apologize. But welcome. We're glad that you're here. We are on Terrific Tributes YouTube channel. We're on my YouTube channel, obviously. We are also right into the Facebook group. So on Facebook, we can't see your comments to be able to pin them, but I am keeping an eye on them. So say hello if you are over there. I know I saw David Voss in there. I see Rodney Jenkins. I see Jared Robinson, Brandon. What's up to all of you over there on Facebook? We'll try not to keep paying attention there, and we can keep you involved in the conversation. I do have it pulled up though, and then let's just see who we have over here on YouTube. Junior the Hedgehog Pizza King says that intro was hype. Thank you. I'm assuming you're talking about the remix like of the theme song. That was, from what I understand, was something that had gotten leaked, but that was supposed to be like an idea of what the theme song could be for Barney's World that they didn't use. It's a shame that they didn't, because I personally enjoy it. But yeah, that's what that was. Thank you for that. Voss is here. I saw him over there. He sent us some stars, so thank you for that, David Voss. We appreciate you. Andrew Coward says, "What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's well. I'm doing pretty good. How are the rest of you here on the stream with me? Emmy, Kaylin, Billy, how are you guys doing today?"
Well, to not sound corny, I'm super duper excited.
Great. All right. Billy, how are you guys?
Well, if anyone wants to talk, I'm here to listen. She said the line. She said the line. No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm excited.
Awesome. How are you, Billy?
Well, I'm excited too. This is my first live stream as a moderator, and I'm a little bit nervous, but excited too. And super duper is cool, but also in Spanish is super estupendo, as Barney could say in Spanish.
Nice, man. Well, if there's any place that's a good place to be nervous, it's here, because we're all of us have been nervous before. All of us are very welcoming. The people that usually join into these kind of streams are generally really nice. They're welcoming, just like what Barney taught us. So hopefully you feel right at home with us. We're glad that you're here. John Phelps says, "Good evening, everyone." What's up, John?
Good evening, everyone.
We have Sonic just popping in for a bit. What's up, Drew? Glad you're here.
Hey, man.
Let's see. Barney Millennium says, "Hand heart."
Yeah. If we can get everybody in the comments, please.
Yeah, put hand hearts or something. It would be a good idea for them to like release a purple hand heart as a one
of those stress balls.
No, I mean like as an emoji, like to help push the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people would use it. I'm almost sure they would.
Yeah.
Well, if you're into K-pop, you could do this. You could do this if you're into K-pop. They do that for the heart. Yeah, they do like this is supposed to look like a heart.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Never mind. Yeah. Hand hearts. There we go. We got some hand hearts. Brandon 2. What's up, man?
There we go.
Big Purple 88.
Yeah.
Barney and the Wiggles.
Hell.
Barney Millennium there. Awesome. Over on Facebook, someone says, "Wait, seriously, that was a mock-up of the theme song?" It was. I don't know if they were seriously considering it, but apparently it was one of the options that was created. I like it better than the theme song, but we'll get into that. Nick over on Facebook says, "Hi, Emmy. You're the only one I personally know." What's up, Nick? Welcome.
Yeah, because he comes to Bob's streams like all the time.
Oh, so I got you.
That's why.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Glad you're here. Mark Tourette's blinks in the chat. Where you at? Brooke says, "What's up, everyone?" over on Facebook. Glad you guys are here. First and foremost, part of our live streams all the time is to do a giveaway. I really wish I remembered to get the picture that Hedge created, so I can show it to you guys. But Hedge created essentially and the idea coming from Kalen, a gorillas themed Barney poster. Kalen, can you send that to me? And I can toss it up.
If I can find it.
Yeah. Take your time. I'll pull it up when we get it to show you guys. But Gorillaz was an animated, or they were a band, but everything was always animated. They weren't actual people on stage and things, but they would always be in this grid of like 4 boxes, and it would be each of those 4 band members. So with this poster, it's 4 different iterations of Barney Backyard Gang, like early PBS version, later PBS version, and now Barney's World. That is a free thing that you can win. The only way that you can win, though, is by putting your name into the entry. If you're on Facebook, it's in the comments. Also, towards the bottom, there might be a link button that you can press that will take you to the link. If you're on YouTube, it's posted right at the top of the YouTube channel on mine specifically. It's also in the chat, so you can click on that, put your name in. Today we decided, instead of giving away one of those for the giveaway, we're going to give away 2 of them. So there will be 2 winners today who will win that poster. Whoever wins tonight that we decide here on the stream, we'll print those off and get it sent out to you. But make sure, if you're on the stream, put your name into the chat. I see, or not the chat, into the entry. I see people typing in the entry right now. So keep doing that. Mark over on Facebook said the stream is great.
Shelly.
Thanks for that.
A lot of that tonight.
There's a lot of hand hearts right there. First of all, before we get started, let's talk about the group for a minute. The group has been going really, really well. We keep getting new people in almost every day. If you're inviting people into the group, or you know people trying to get into the group and they get denied, it's because they aren't answering the questions or agreeing to the rules. It's very simple to get into our group. Everyone's welcome there, as long as you're respecting each other. But make sure that if you know someone that's trying to get in, or if you're inviting people, that they know they have to agree to those group rules and answer those questions to be brought into the group. Otherwise, it's going really, really well. There's been a lot of discussion lately because of Barney's World, obviously. But I like the way the group has been going lately. I think we need to do a little bit more, but we're always so busy that we try to do it as best we can. Kaylin, you've been there from the very beginning. I mean, this is almost going on my second year, or is it my second year? But you've been there since it was created, along with Andrew and another Barney fan. How do you feel about the growth of the group and the I guess the possibilities of where we're headed so far, and what could possibly come of that in the future with this?
Well, who would have known one little idea from little old me would spark, a website, almost 3,000 members, and we started it at the right time, because 2 years later they officially announced that they were relaunching the brand. So that was huge, to be to somewhat be a part of history there. That's pretty cool to me. I appreciate everyone that's joined and given their stories and their factoids in terms of the history of this beloved franchise, all the way back from its inception to today. And it's very, very, very humbling to meet some of the people who helped grace Barney on our screens, especially the cast and crew members who helped make that possible. And we're grateful. We're very blessed to have you guys, and we're looking forward to seeing what we can maybe cook up next.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff. Barney Fan Entertainment is asking, where is Hedge and Andrew? Hedge is at work, so he'll be in about an hour into this thing. Andrew is gone doing business for his entrepreneurial side of things, so he won't be here. Brandon is also traveling and doing some things, so he also won't be here. We wish they all were here. I think that's why we need to do more streams like we used to do, so we do have opportunities to see everyone. But they're not here today, unfortunately. let's see here. I have the photo now. Kaylin sent over to me, so I'm going to show you guys what this poster looks like. That way you guys can see it. Give me one
While
second.
we're at it, while you're still adding your heart hands, put in the comments hashtag. Use your hashtag. Barney is back.
Yeah.
That was the idea to start that from the jump this year. We haven't really done that for real, but I think now is the best time to kind of start that again.
Yeah. This is what the poster looks like. Thanks to Hedge on Stage for always his talented work. Thanks to Kaylin for having the idea to do it. It's a unique idea and design. I would say almost this is something Mattel could think about when they're thinking of like nostalgia and like bringing Barney for like the adults, like crossing it over with other pop culture things. Yeah, we have.
This would be a dope T-shirt,
but this would be super cool to do. Yeah. So yeah, that's what the poster looks like. Again, we're gonna have 2 people who can win that, and all you have to do is put your name into the entry. The other thing is you have to kind of be here to win, because we're going to do the drawing on here, and for you to win you have to be 18 or older, obviously, but you have to reach out to us in order to claim that prize. Otherwise we're trying to track people down, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. So stick around as long as you can, or if you can't stick around for whatever reason, make sure you go back and watch the replay. You have to claim the prize. Do we usually say 24 hours, Kaylin, or is it 48?
24.
24 hours you have to claim the prize. So if you have to jump out at some point and you put your name on the list, at least watch the replay to see if you've won. Let's see here. There are a lot of you in here. There's a lot of people talking and saying things. So I'm trying to keep up with comments and things that's being said. Jonathan's Universe says, I'm excited for Barney. One of the kids, David, looks just like me, and I'm super happy to see myself in that character, just as Barney says, I love you. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That it's cool to hear that, because I think the idea of would this show work? Will people who grew up with the show care to watch it? Will it resonate with other kids, like young kids of today? Has always been that question that's been up in the air, and I'm really happy that like other people are resonating with it. The conversation about Barney's World, and we'll get into that when we jump into that topic in a little while, but the conversation around it, especially in the fan community, has shifted a little bit with the way that people feel about the show, which is great. Barney Marquez, Brandon Marquez, I guess because her name started with a B, my bad, was the first one to comment hashtag Barney is back. So yeah, there's some people over on Facebook putting that. Jared Robinson put Barney is back, hashtag Barney is back. Brooke, hashtag Barney is back. Brooke is our fan of the month this month. So if you are in the History Fans page on Facebook, you can read a little bit more about her. Thank you guys for being here. Somebody said hashtag Barney lives. He does. I mean, he does. Yeah. Let's see here. Gorillas. So you mean dinosaurs? That's funny. Yeah. Dinosaurs. What's some other things that people are saying here? If you haven't checked it out, Barney Millennium made an awesome stream of mixing classic BJ with Billy. It was awesome. Check them out.
What?
Is it you, Billy? Or is it? Yeah, check that out. Hedge also did a drawing with Bryn, who's the new voice of Baby Bop, with the classic looking of Baby Bop and the new iteration. So yeah, check out all of our friends that's in and around the group who are creatives, and support them. Someone says, "Oh, Emmy, hey, I loved your poems." You just recently did a poetry slam, right?
Yeah. It was So just for context, so on my personal Facebook, I didn't really mean for it to go out, or promote myself like that. But on my personal Facebook, I reposted that I was doing an online slam just cause. And Bob West, bless him, saw it, and he was like, can I join? Where can I watch you? And then I gave him the Zoom link, thinking, oh, he's probably not going to show up. Not at his time, but he did, and he put the link on his Facebook page and said, hey, if you're still up, Emmy's doing a thing, come and support her. And in the end, it was Bob, and it was also Isaac Nelson,
Nice.
who is Isomation and one of the Barney. I believe he's an admin on the Barney
Wiki. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he came along too. So thank you, Isaac, and thank you, Bob, for coming to support me.
Nice. That's awesome. And that's what I think that speaks to how great the community, like us actual fans and cast and crew who recognize the fans that live within these groups, not just history fans, in all the other groups that's on Facebook. It speaks to how great this franchise and brand is. People like Bob in the middle of the night supporting someone way on the other side of the world just because they're doing poetry is amazing. David Voss just commented on Facebook, I love watching y'all. People like them are why I think, they did so great with the show as it was, but then also now they interact with us as human beings, as fans themselves of us and the show, and we're fans of them in the show. It's like a common understanding between each other, and I think that's what's more rewarding about any other fan community that you go into. This one is unique in that way.
I agree.
So yeah, shout out to them. Someone said, Luke Jeffer said, so excited to get 3,000 members by the end of this year. We will get there, and there is a huge giveaway we're doing for that we're going to mention towards the end of this stream. So and you guys won't want to miss out on that either. John Phelps said, I know you all can reach 3,000. If my group was able to do it, so can history fans. Yeah, man, absolutely. And a lot of us we're in all those different groups. And as long as it helps push the mission, then we're good. Before we go any further, this is Billy's first stream with us. Billy is he came to us and he proposed the idea, and we loved it, that there are Spanish speaking fans within our groups who may not be able to read or understand our English posts, and we don't often think about not that they're not important, but we get so set in what our normal lives are that we don't often think about the barriers that other people might have to communicate. And Billy reached out and wanted to get permission to just translate the post that we make into Spanish for the Spanish speaking fans. And we thought a better idea than just translating it would to bring him on as a moderator and allow him to be a part of the family more than just translating the post, being a part of the family, and being a part of the group in a moderating role. And he accepted it, and you guys, I'm sure, have been seeing it on Facebook. He's been making great posts where people who are Spanish speakers can interact as much as the rest of us, which is awesome. He did say he's a little nervous because this is his first stream, which is okay. But Billy, I do want you, if you're okay to do so, just share with people a little bit about I don't know, I need to bring you on Spots of Love podcast for one, but today just a short story about you, or why is Barney your thing, why are you a part of the History Fans group, and anything else that you want to share.
Of course. Well, first, thanks to all of you for accepting me, for including me in this wonderful team, moderator and admin team. I admire and appreciate you so much, and all of the people that are watching us. First of all, my English is not perfect. My country first language is Spanish, but I'm going to make my best talking and speaking English. Um, I'm 22 years old. I'm from Colombia. I'm from Bogota, Colombia. Now I'm in Cartagena. That is a city in the north coast of Colombia. Um, how what can I say more about me? Well, I am an actor. Maybe you have seen me on productions of Netflix or Prime Video, if you like to consume Latin products, Latin series, and well, I'm Barney. We are talking about Barney because is the topic, is the thing. Barney have been always very special to me since always, but he became a very important part of my life when my parents get divorced when I was 4 years old. Barney was my safe place, my friend, and I never felt alone when Barney was so close to me. And Barney is my friend now, and I want that Barney could be my friend for all my life. And well, I don't know what can I say more about me. I'm
Yeah.
so happy. I'm nervous, but I'm happy to be here. If you let me, I want to share some words in Spanish to the Latin fans that maybe are here watching. Bueno, me encanta. Barney y sus amigos están escribiendo. A todas las personitas que amen a Barney también y que estén aquí, prometo ayudarles, como muchos me estaban escribiendo que no entendían los posts en inglés. Aquí estoy para ayudarlos, para explicarles toda este rollo, esta historia con Barney ahorita, con el mundo de Barney, y estoy aquí para ayudarlos en lo que necesite. Como les dije, mi inglés pues no es perfecto, pero en lo que pueda ayudar, estaré aquí dispuesto para ustedes. What I said is I'm here to help to translate or help to explain from English to Spanish to the Latin fans that maybe don't understand English so well, and of course to help the fans that also speak English. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here with all of you, and thank you for making part of this.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Billy. Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you here. I'm glad that you
Okay,
accepted it. There's
okay.
some there's some people trying to find those comments again. Someone said over on Facebook, I love that us millennials will always be faithful to the love and support of Barney and the legacy we want to keep alive. Absolutely. So someone else said, I love when fandoms can be a family like this. Absolutely. Melody for life. Someone else asked, question for Billy, how's Baby Bop?
Well, she's great. She's great. Well, I'm going to paint me yellow and my hair in orange.
Red.
She's so good. BJ copyrighted my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
Billy is not my real name. Is my artistic name, and I don't know how to say it in English, but everyone says to me Billy. But my real name is Alexander Jesus. But I think is much better Billy. Is easier.
gotcha.
And
Nice,
now
man.
BJ
Cool.
copyrighted my
Yeah.
name.
Awesome. Let's see here. Someone asked, are we going to react to new Barney's World episode? We are. That's mainly what this mainstream is for. We're going to get right into that here at kind of as the segue, just as we're looking through other comments. Someone says, Fontes Mike, I think, first time chatting, but through y'all streams and content, it's been such a blast rekindling my love for this wonderful franchise. We're glad that you're here, man. There's always more space for more Barney fans to join us. So thanks for being here. Thanks for commenting and engaging with us. Let's start into Barney's World. There's already been one opinion that I've seen. 68 Corvette 08 says, the clips I've seen of it, I personally think it's terrible and ruins Barney's image. And to even change BJ's name to Billy just makes him a separate character to me. And this, just as a buffer for everybody, we're going to get into the discussion of Barney's World. Everyone, we invite you to share what your opinion is, whether it's a good opinion or a bad opinion. I don't like good or bad, whether it's a critique or it's a celebration of something that you like. all that is fine as long as we are being respectful of each other and their opinions. Share them.
Yes.
68 Corvette, I would ask you, I know there's been clips, there's been the shorts and things like that. Have you watched the first episode that was released today? I think what I've started to notice is people are feeling that way. They're saying that the pictures that they posted, or they were seeing little small clips, but
trailers
now trailer, yeah. But now that the episode is out, some people, granted, it's going to take some time to get used to voices or changing BJ's name to Billy, or maybe you look at him as a completely different character, which is fine too. Some people have changed their minds a little bit just because of seeing what a full episode looks like and entails. So have you been able to check that out? Aside from that, I'm going to
Yes.
keep looking at the comments and see what people are saying. But any of you, feel free, Emmy, Billy, Kaylin, what are your thoughts on this first episode? Just for preference too, this is the episode that leaked in August. So
I was
most
about
of
to say
them
that.
saw the
Yeah.
episode, right?
Same one apparently.
Now we get to see it in high definition. But we
without any watermarks.
but still, let's share now since we can legally share our opinions. What are you guys thinking?
Well,
Oh, no, Kaylin, you go.
Oh, it's this way. Yeah, like as you mentioned, this was the episode that got leaked. Which turned out to be a I said it in one of my videos that it was a big internal leak that happened on multiple production companies. I think Netflix was hit the hardest with some of their things, but Netflix and Warner Brothers and their kind of newer IP and catalog were hit with internal leakage. But in terms of this one, I think it's a very good start, I guess you would say. It's so clearly a pilot. Like he names off the characters like immediately to let you know, like, hey, this is the new world we live in. Here's our new friends. This is what the episodes are going to pertain to in terms of structure and story and whatnot. And it's very reminiscent, you could say, of the original series, but still original enough to work within its own. And yeah, man, I like it, man. It's very humbling and very nurturing to see Barney return to our TV screens in a fascinating way, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff, man. Emmy, you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah. So the thing is, with this particular episode, when I first heard about it, when I first saw it, I was of the opinion that everything it was a competently made show. I really liked the use of color, and I liked
Yes.
the character design. I like the physics. I like everything like that. The two hang-ups for me, the two biggest hang-ups for me were Barney's voice and the song at the end. I didn't completely vibe with it. Now that I've kind of sat on it for a little bit, and now that the official version has been released, and we've seen, there have been shorts and stuff that have been released in the lead up to this. I really like Jonathan Langdon's performance. I'll go as far as to say I like it better than Dean Wentz. I know.
What?
Cancel me.
That hurts my feelings.
Because I like the energy and the enthusiasm, and the behind the scenes video that got released of the cast. Like, you can tell that he's really getting into his role. Oh my goodness!
Put that thing away. I love you.
Good stuff.
It's really good, and I really like the kid characters. Italian representation with Vivi. Respect for the WOG. We got to have that WOG representation from Vivi.
Black power with David.
Yeah.
And Barney.
David is cute. David is super cute. Like, for real, he is the cutest one of the whole series. I love his chubby cheeks. And
it's funny that you say that, and that the other fan commented about it. To me, David's whole design is the most generic of everyone's.
Yes.
So weird. Like,
I like him.
When he's not talking, he's just like standing there with his two arms just out, and it's like they could have done so much more to him.
Yeah.
But like when we talk about, are they like Cocomelon, like AI and whatever, you know, like he looks like a very like simple, like let's just put some eyes on him and now here's the afro and then call it a day.
The flat top.
I wish they did more. Yeah, I wish they did more with him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Cut it.
Yeah. I like him. I personally think he's the cutest of the three kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm a simple woman. I see something cute and small and I click.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were angry that
it was designed for me.
I know a lot of people were angry that they didn't like go with the traditional 4. I think the 3 works because it doesn't really like doesn't crowd out as much space as it, you know. I mean,
are we talking about kids?
Yeah.
Well, by the end of Barney and Friends ending, there were only ever like 3 kids. And sometimes they would start with 3, 2 would leave, and then it was just 1 or 2. So I think it works pretty well. Emmy, did you have more to share? Did we
I liked. Oh no, I liked the writing. The writing is really good. The songs were. I think, you know, as I'm eager to see more. As more comes out, I'm eager to see more and how exactly they incorporate the songs at all. I feel like the soundtrack could be a little bit better, but again, I really like the design. I really like the Jonathan Langdon as Barney is growing on me, even with that early kind of fluctuation in performance. Mm-hmm. But all in all, it's an enjoyable episode, and I liked it.
He grows into it, especially in that episode over time. Like the first half is clearly just him speaking. But then over time, I guess he remembers, like, oh, I should be playing this character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tristan says the new show is just not for me, mostly because of Barney's voice. But I will always enjoy classic Barney. I'm sticking with that. And that's great. Like, you don't have to like this show. You don't have to solely, if you do like this show, you don't have to solely watch it and act like classic didn't exist or doesn't exist. They both exist. So you find whatever your happy medium is. You can watch both. You can watch one. For me, I felt the same way, especially when the episode leaked and we talked about it. Like, I was very pushed back by the voice. I still don't think, I don't know what Emmy's talking about. I don't think it matches to any of what anyone else did before. Aside from keeping the jolliness of Barney, the rest of the character, as far as how the voice work is done with this version, is completely different than all the rest of them. Like, yeah, Dean Wynn's voice is very, very strange and different coming from Bob West, but he kept, until they started writing terribly for him, everything that Bob West had encompassed into that character, the jolliness, the giggles, the, you know, those different things. He still kept it, just making it his own. But it might grow on you later on. It might not. Who knows? Someone else says, I don't really like the Barney's World Barney voice, which is okay. It's something to get used to cosmetically, but it definitely embodies the spirit of what Barney is, and I agree with that.
I believe the production staff did their homework, and they like really truly understand. Well, not just from this episode alone, from other stuff we've seen, especially from the shorts and whatnot. I think they understand what the Barney energy, I guess you would say.
Yeah, at least a little bit. Yeah. Barney's World is fantastic for today's generation. I can see through the reboot the essence of pure imagination, love, and creativity is still here, which I'm happy to see. JR the Hedgehog Pizza King says, I was definitely not on board when I saw the leak, but after hearing and seeing some official clips of the sneak peeks, it grew on me, and now I'm excited to watch it. It's adorable and has the spirit. There were some more comments pretty much like that. Andrew Colwart said, I enjoy it being animated because it really opens up the show to do things that Barney and Friends couldn't even think about doing, or maybe they thought about it and just it was never going to happen.
Have the money.
Especially if you had someone like Steve White as a writer. John Phelps said, I'll be honest, my stance changed regarding Barney's World. I kind of liked the episode, surprisingly. So, you know, it's in and out. Let's look at Facebook. Brandon on Facebook, Brandon Marquez says, I'm a little iffy. What do you say? I'm a little iffy about it The human kids, there's only 2 girls and 1 boy. I wish they'd add at some point another boy to even things out a bit. I do know David's brother in the show, Liam, is a character. I don't know how much he's in the show, but he does show up at certain parts. So yeah, Mark Tourette, being Mark Tourette, says, I like that Baloney and Kids finally gets to be a full series.
Okay.
Brooke says, I love that it keeps the representation of the different cultures and races, just like the original Barney. It's so different, and I don't like the voice, and I do like that they still use their imagination. Jared Robinson says, honestly, I am loving Jonathan's Barney voice. It embodies the essence of Barney at his core, and he still adds in his own angle to it, especially with him being a father himself, and you can tell he understands the character full on. And we'll keep highlighting your comments. Billy, we skipped over you for a second. What are your thoughts about that first episode and what you've seen?
Thank you, Karen. I had a double experience because today there was premiered the episode in Spanish,
Mhm.
and there was new for me because we had the most of the videos in English, but not all in Spanish. Today, also listening because the video is the same. It changed the voices. Um, I get time. Sorry. Listening to these new voices was was nostalgic for me because in Spanish I think there are similarities to the original voices from Ruben, Elsa, and Lovey that were the voices of Barney and Friends in Barney, Baby Bob, and BJ in Spanish. Um, that was cool for me. In Spanish, I love these voices. In English, I prefer the original ones. But if we compare Barney and Friends with Barney's World, it's evident and it's obvious that Barney and Friends will win. But if we don't compare, this is good. This is a good product. This is have it has good voices, good cast. The story is simple. There are 11 minutes to tell a story of Barney. Comparing their Barney and Friends had an episode of a half hour, not in the 11th, 10th and 11th season, but the most of the series was a half hour. But I think the most important components of Barney as a character and that make Barney Barney are present there. And Barney helping their friends, teaching them, for example, in this episode, teaching David to help his mother, but with an analogy, with imagination, with all this adventure with the grape jelly and all of this stuff. I think that's the most important,
Yeah.
and that's all.
Nice, man. Yeah. Let's see some more comments here. Austin M says, I really hope we get Mr. Knickerbocker being together, the friendship song, the Dino Dance song, and You Can Count on Me song, and Laugh With Me song. And Silly's, so you want a bunch of the
You want
classics.
every song.
Every song from
Every
season
song.
1 all the way through. We'll see. I mean, they have been bringing some of those classics back. It's up in the air what else could be there. But Monday, when the show premieres on Max, there's also the first new Barney album that's going to be coming out since 2009, I think.
Yes.
So I'm sure that's going to be filled with whatever those classic songs are, plus some more original ones that we'll eventually hear in the show. So yeah, let's keep an eye out for what happens there. Let's see here. On Facebook, Jared says, I love that the Spanish voices sound so similar to their originals. And he also says, honestly, Billy's English voice reminds me of how he sounds in the OG Portuguese dub. If anything, it's like a more masculine version of his original take in season 2. which is interesting. One thing that I liked about the episode itself was the fact that when they had Lulu the baby cry, it wasn't that stock sound effect that you hear in like Arthur and all those shows back in the day. Like anytime it was a cartoon show and they had the baby crying, it was always that same whiny little baby. I was glad that like when she started crying, it wasn't just that. Maybe babies cry differently in Canada. But anyway, I'm glad that wasn't there. Anthony, Anthony says it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. The animation is stunning and the writing seems cute or even self-aware at times, but I'm still not wild about Jonathan. And I think that's going to be the holdup for most people. When you get past the animation, the completely different look of Barney, BJ, and Baby Bop, when you get past BJ being named Billy or called Billy, and what's going to hold on to people is Jonathan's voice. But I liken it to Dean Wint's voice. Some of us, I don't mind it. I still don't mind it. I didn't mind it then. Some of us, though, didn't like it. And we can still appreciate some of the episodes that he did. And it kind of grows on you as Barney, albeit a very different one. Even if you don't like his voice, when you hear it, you still recognize it as Barney. So eventually down the line, when we hear Jonathan's version of Barney, whether we like it or not, we're still going to recognize it as a version of Barney. But I think that's the thing that most people are going to be stuck on for a while is just how different it is. And he took it back to the deeper, lower tone of what Barney was in the earlier days than what he eventually became. Like he didn't take it and keep like a high-pitched version of Barney's voice. He brought it back down, which is also very different. If all you know are the higher pitched Bob West voice and then Dean Wint, obviously.
Yeah, I keep saying that it to me it just fits this version in particular. With some of the mannerisms and stuff they make him do, the voice kind of fits. Especially like his laugh. But overall, I mean, I can see. I mean, but overall, I can see why people are kind of put off with it because you kind of think like, okay, is he doing a parody or is he doing an impression of what somebody would think his voice would be?
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of people say, oh, he sounds like Patrick or he sounds like Ord from Dragon Tales. To me, if you just kind of like not think about that for real and just kind of put yourself in the place of, okay, this is probably what they imagine his voice to sound like in the show. Because we got to remember this is an imaginary character.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he sounds like is what they sound like. I mean, whatever he sounds like is what they think he sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though it's kind of they kind of make it clear that he is a real being in the show. But, you know.
But also, I don't even think most people think that he sounds like Ord or he sounds like Patrick. I think the couple people who do think that have said it, and then other people adopted that idea. Mm-hmm. Because that's all it's been lately is the exact same comment posted by different people saying the same thing. He does have a touch of those things. He has a touch of baloney, like the parodies of Barney from back in the day. He has a touch of all that stuff. I don't know what their angle was with it. I wish it was a better voice, but it is the voice that we have. He's a talented actor, and I'm sure has worked hard to get that role. And that's what we have to remember too. Like we're always going to judge it from the standpoint of being Barney fans, right? And growing up with these very specific versions of the show. But when you look at these programs that are being made, regardless of whatever's happening behind the scenes, who's calling decisions and shots, the people whose voices we finally hear or we finally see on screen, these actors, actresses, and of the sort, they've put a lot of work into that and a lot of passion and time into it. So even if you don't like the voice, which I don't think we need to say it, I think we already do, we still respect the people who have taken their time and care and put it into those characters. You don't have to like their performance, but just recognize that it takes a lot of work to do these things, become a character, voice over things, like all of that stuff. It takes a lot of work. And you have to also think, I don't know about how these people feel, and I would really love to talk to them on the podcast, but they're coming into a refresh of a very significant brand that was huge, that paved the way for a lot of things. If I was booked on this show, it would be stressful because it's
That'll
like,
be a lot of pressure. Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of pressure. We know it's not going to match Barney and Friends, but you want to still, as people working on the show, I think want to still make it at least something that's successful and beneficial to people. That's a lot of pressure when you have to come off of a show that was as huge as Barney was.
Especially specifically him, because when you're asked to essentially be the main character, that's tons of pressure on you. But I mean, as we stated, like from the behind the scenes, he's a father of 3 girls, so he gets, the whole parent aspect of what makes Barney work. And also, to my understanding, I think he's in like his mid 30s, maybe late
He has to
30s.
be like around our age.
Yeah, so
My
he definitely grew up on this, so he understands what impact that it had both on us and the eventual impact that it could and very much will have on this new generation.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what some more people are saying in the comments. I saw Mark comment on Facebook, and it looks like it's gone now. But he said, babies don't cry in Canada because they're too busy watching super simple songs. It was a great opportunity for him to plug our show, but hey. Grant Ramirez says, I hope with the attention from the new show, they will showcase more of classic Barney too, but I want to see very early years. They seem to ignore the archives. And I don't want to like be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think they care to. Right? Like they've had 15 years to post or upload videos of classic Barney that wasn't just hit entertainment, right? And they haven't done it. They've had 2 years before this premiere, or a year and a half before this premiered, from when they announced it and said they want to buy into the love of the nostalgia of the brand with adults, to put something out like that aside from just the shirts and things, and they haven't. So I don't think that it's something that's on the front of their plate. I could be wrong. I really hope that we're wrong, because granted, you have a new version. The classic version exists as well, and it's because of that classic version that you have the new version, that it could make very, very easy attention come back to the brand by making sure you know who your demographic is. Works great for Barney's World, but if you want the adults to buy into it, give them their Barney as well. They both can
I think they're more or less focused on the like merchandising and product department more than they are like the actual stuff that makes the brand what it is, which is, multimedia. I mean,
yeah.
Emotionally, this was the first thing that came out of the relaunch, right?
Emotionally Unavailable.
Yeah,
Yes.
Which was a terrible choice, because they were like,
yeah,
hey, we love you guys. Buy this shirt for $300.
right.
Psych, it's gone in 24 hours. Like, it was terrible.
But regardless of that, like, I'm sure that they saw the opportunity and kind of just ran with it. But I feel like I think they're more or less thinking, their thinking is kind of backwards. Like, if we put Barney on a T-shirt, or if we design this plush or whatnot, we'll get more of that market than we do, anything else that we have in our archives to shove out. And it's kind of flawed logic, but at the same time, I can understand why they would think that, because a corporation's main motive at the end of the day is to make money, to pull out payroll and whatnot. But like you said, we could just be definitely wrong. They could have something planned that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to keep talking about this. But there's people in the comments who are being rude to other people, who are just saying things that are completely out of left field about things that aren't respectful about anything that we're talking about. So we can time you guys out for a while so you can't comment for a little bit. We will be using that. And if it continues, then we're just going to start banning people. Let's respect other people and what their thoughts and opinions and comments are saying. If it doesn't apply to you, move on. And then also let's not say some of the things that I'm seeing in the comments by one specific person. Those things can go somewhere else, but they're not allowed here. Thank you. Let's see what other people are saying here. Facebook says, I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm just going to say Madison. I don't want to mispronounce your name. This Barney is made for a new generation, so we might not like it, but we have to think that this Barney is for the generation of kids. Brooke says, I want the new generation of kids to enjoy and love Barney as we did when we were their age. And I think it's beating a dead horse. We've all been saying that over and over again. It's probably annoying from some people to hear, like, it's not our Barney. It's not our. We know that. We know that it's for a new generation. But yeah, do keep that in mind also, right? Like, you might not like this show. And that's okay. Like, you're not required to, right? Just because it's Barney, you don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it. But be open-minded with it. Understand that it's not Barney and Friends. We know that, right? When you look at it through that kind of lens, it stands as its own thing, and it's okay. If we start to put it up to par with Barney and Friends, like Billy said earlier, we know Barney and Friends will win every time. Does it beat later hit era? Who knows? We'll find out on Barney's worst episode stream. But
somebody said real quick, somebody said they can't wait for the next licensing expo when they pull out the classic Barney and the new Barney to do the Spider-Man movie.
Well, then they'll need to have to like get Andrew's backyard gang Barney too.
Right.
They can all just stand there and
point. I don't think they're going to do that because they don't want like brand confusion.
I don't think so.
There's a lot of people who are going to be like, well, we know that's Barney, but we also know that's Barney. So,
but it's strange because who are you thinking you're going to confuse, right? Right. You're posting on public social media pages 2 different versions of Barney, Barney's right. World and late hit era Barney, and no one's confused yet, right? There's no young kids that's watching this show who's on those apps, I hope, right? They're not also going to be at any of those expos. So you could do things like that and it won't matter much because, first of all, Barney is a dinosaur that's very noticeable just based off his color, right? You've seen knockoff Barney, or not even knockoff Barney toys. You've seen dinosaur toys with the color concept of Barney, purple body, green stomach, yellow toes, and you automatically go, that's Barney. It right. doesn't look anything like their toys, but you say that's Barney, right? I don't think it can cause any confusion because any kid who loves Barney, any adult who loves Barney, whether they see that new walk-around costume for Barney's World or a young kid sees a classic Barney, they're going to recognize it as Barney. So I think it's at a disadvantage from Mattel, who they could do better with using that, but who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Let's see, what else do we have here? Jalen says, do you think we are going to get live shows out of this? I can see it. If it happens, I see it in the vein of like they do Paw Patrol and those things, or
no,
like where it's a puppet and someone's just walking behind it.
No.
I think the idea that people are going to get into a suit and run around like they did with classic Barney with this new version is probably not going to happen, unless Barney is a costume and the little dinos are those puppets. If they do it, I could see them going that way. I don't have a lot of faith in them even leaning into that side of the entertainment world, though. I wish that they would, but I don't personally see it. What do you guys think? Do you think that's something that we could get out of this?
Well, we know, I believe the vice president of like brand affairs or whatnot at Mattel basically confirmed that Barney will have his own space at the Mattel Adventure Park that they're currently building in Kansas City, and maybe even one and the new one they just opened in Arizona. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know if they're like wanting to do a carbon copy of A Day in the Park with Barney, or even what they did over in Dubai when they had the Playtown, where they did an exact replica of the set from the TV show. I could see them do that, but probably just Barney because I don't know, building new costumes for the 2 dinos specifically might be expensive, especially if you're building specific ones for little actors. So that could be tricky. But in
Yeah.
terms of like a live tour, stage tour, or whatnot, it could happen if it's very successful. But at the same time, I just don't like you stated earlier. I cannot stand even they do it on Broadway as well, like the Winnie the Pooh show and
Yeah.
like you said, Paw Patrol and Lion King. It's
I
just
think they
really
did.
distracting.
Was Bluey that way, or was Bluey walk around costumes? I can't remember.
Bluey was
Bluey was
walk
that
around.
way. It was
Oh.
that way.
Was
They
it?
had it was like they were the length of the characters
Or
that
were
they
there
are on
two
the
versions?
show.
Because I felt like I've seen two different like live shows of Bluey where it was both ways.
It could be for a while, a couple years back. It was they
Oh
kept
no,
promoting it.
no, they're definitely puppets.
Yeah,
Like
Okay.
they're behind the heads and stuff and move their bodies.
but they're not doing the voices though.
No, it's pre-recorded.
Right. That's just really distracting to me. Like I'm
Well,
watching the actor instead of, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's weird. I remember growing up, I saw one time a live Clifford the Big Red Dog show, and they had like this massive blow up costume of Clifford that two people operated. Excuse me, but Cleo and T-Bone were those kind of puppets. So if they were to do it, I could see them maybe going in that route where Barney, since he's supposed to be bigger, is a walk around costume and the other two are those puppets. Along with for some reason I pictured the kids also being puppets instead of just
Oh, they're
getting
not gonna do that.
some kids.
Actually,
But I don't think they will hire real kids either. So what would you do when you only have these 6 characters who are the characters of the show?
Just
Right.
cast adults.
I don't know.
Just like short adults. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What are some other people saying? Mark says if he does any more live stuff, they should pull a Wiggles pub show or Yo Gabba Gabba type of thing and have him appear at festivals. But Classic is better suited for that.
Yeah, it is.
I honestly think people would come to that, right? Like when Wiggles first did that the first time, I was surprised how many people showed up to watch the Wiggles who were full adults with alcohol in their hands but singing fruit salad, right?
Dead.
I could see that with Classic Barney.
I did that twice.
You've seen it twice?
Yeah, I saw Wiggles live twice.
That's nice. That's dope. I could see that with Classic Barney. Mark's not too far off with that. I don't know or think they would ever do that. But I would love to see something like that. I would go to it all the time. Thank you, whoever banned that Joker. I don't know who did that, but thank you.
It was me.
Thank you. Let's highlight this one. Billy, what does this say?
Well, that's my sorry.
Oh, is that you?
That's a comment that I wrote. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling to the Latin fans if they want to ask a question or share a comment, feel free to do it.
Perfect. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Well, I was thinking something that you were saying about the show, and I can relate it to Barney's Birthday Bash, something like that, with this type of costumes that were not the official ones that we saw on Barney Live in New York City or Big Surprise or Musical Castle or whatever. But something like Barney's Birthday Bash, I think it would work.
Yeah, if they Birthday Bash suffered because it was at the very end of them running out of money, and it was put on by a company who was not the Barney people for once. I love the remix music though. I loved it then. I love it now. It could have been done better had it been executed in a better way. But I agree, if they did something like that today, and they're targeting very specifically the adults, I think there's a market there for it. We've seen it. We see how adults react to Elmo asking them how they're feeling on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Sorry. We see how people react on TikTok when Steve posts a video of just him staring at the screen asking you how you're feeling. Like, people are really connecting to these characters that we grew up with. Barney was a staple of love and kindness for everybody before any of those people came along, right? Why can't he also be just as important in that way? I think it would work for sure. Andrew says, if they would release a box set of the series, the majority of us would literally throw Mattel our wallets. And I would pay good money for a high quality version of season 1 through 6. Absolutely. Any day. Any day. Let's see. There's a comment I'm trying to find here. While I'm looking for it, the good old Hedge is in here now with us.
Hey, Hedge!
I love you. I love you too.
Hedge is on the stage.
Get up and move. Jump up to the ceiling.
And that was Hedge, everybody.
Come on. Come on.
Feeling with your moves.
So I can dance you
Wherever you are.
Hello. Hope I didn't miss too much. It's been an hour.
Brandon says, but watching the puppeteer is so magical. Yeah, it just takes away the entire image. Mommy, why is that guy's hand in the back of Barney's head? These are the kind of questions you have to answer. Well, you see, when a puppeteer loves a puppet very much, are they still going to have... Emmy, I'm not finding the one that you said serious question.
That was Tristan on YouTube, I think.
Okay.
That was on YouTube.
Are they saying they want more serious topics in the show?
Exactly. Yeah. If the comment was something like, do you think we'll see Barney's World tackle more serious topics than the original show?
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna. It's very much as we've seen, social emotional. So it's all about every episode. How is somebody feeling and how to deal with that feeling and articulate it. But deeper things, like I don't know how deep. Excuse me, you're talking, but my mind is thinking like divorce or death or those kind of things. I don't see them. Now there was a short that came out. It hasn't gone to YouTube yet. That aired on Cartoonito. Where Vivi Nona, however you want to pronounce it, read her a sad book and it had a sad ending, and she talked about how, like, and she didn't even when the short ended, she wasn't even happy. Still, like they were just living in the moment of what it means to be sad and experience that. And I like that it wasn't just Barney told her like at the end, like if it's a sad story, you can come up with your own happy ending. But the short didn't end with them like, all right, let's run and play. They were still very much in like that feeling of sadness, which is very different than what Barney and Friends would have done. But I don't think they would dive super deep into like that other kind of territory because it is still for very young kids.
Yeah, because I think that one of the criticisms that Mattel probably and Nelvana mostly are taking on board is that I think they kind of want to get away from the whole criticism that Barney was always happy and always jolly and that kind of thing. So they are taking a lot of that form of criticism on board, but also trying to balance it with this is for young kids, so we can't say, "Hey, kids, here's a car crash,"
Yeah,
it's
racism or
like line.
And it bothers me. Yeah, and it bothers me so much because like while I do understand that, like let's try not to always make him seem like everything's sunshine and rainbows, but we like the whole thing that made Barney who he was a young child's imagination. Everything in their world, unless they have to experience something traumatic, unwillingly, right? Everything to them is sunshine and rainbows. Unless they get hurt or something, every moment is happy. They love to see their parents or their siblings or their friends. They love to play with like that's what the world for them is. So it made sense that they did that originally. It still could have worked today because there's so many other shows who do the other stuff, right?
Right. Stephen White said it best in the I Love You, You Hate Me documentary when he was like, Cheryl Leach, when the whole concept of Barney was created and we see it on screen, she wasn't trying to argue that the world is a perfect place. She was trying to show that this is what it could be if we all just learn how to, like we said, how to get along.
Exactly.
And, you know what I mean?
That's why I still lean into the idea that the story line for the Barbie movie was far better suited for Barney.
Yes.
Barbie, I've never heard a kid buy a Barbie doll and go, I want to be just like this doll, right? That doll never taught anything to that kid. It was just a Barbie doll that represented powerful women figures or represented women in a way and put them on a pedestal that no one else
Right.
would do, right?
Represented
But
a lifestyle and
yeah, but Barney was legit a character who always taught love and happiness and acceptance and kindness. And to see Barney come into the real world, out of this world where everything is like that, essentially a toddler's mind into now a toddler who's an adult into their real world and see, oh man, like it's not all happiness all the time. That would have been a super dope dynamic for a Bob West Barney to have with an adult character who grew up with the show, experiencing real life. That they can't release that movie now because everyone's just gonna go, that was the Barbie storyline.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
They wasted it on
Yeah.
that when that could have been a perfect story for Barney.
It's been a lot of just missed, and I don't want to say wasted, but just a lot of missed opportunities have come about. And hopefully with Barney's World being good so far, hopefully they'll come around and start acknowledging a lot of what this franchise is, which is the core of Barney is that he's a dinosaur that isn't real. He's from our imagination. And like you said, a kid's curiosity, a kid's innocence, they see everything as sunshine and rainbows, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that's not sunshine and rainbows. And like, I feel like a lot of, I don't know, I hope this is a good thing and continues to be a good thing for Barney.
Yeah.
Well, Hedge, you can't really use that logic anymore. The parents can see him.
But the parents always saw him.
But
They only
mom,
didn't see him in the pre-PBS stuff, but after that, they've
but
always
mom
saw him.
could never see him because they don't know his secret. Whose secret was it again?
Whose secret are they keeping?
Theirs.
Adam's got
Victoria.
That's a terrible lesson to teach kids too. Anyway, Barney and the Wiggle says, do you think Barney World will actually be a successful show among kids like the Blue's Clues reboot was?
It
And
better
I
be.
will say, I don't know. The Blue's Clues reboot, while it was technically a reboot, they stuck to the very core and method of what that original show was. I was saying earlier in History Fans that the concept of how people measure success is far different today in a world of streaming, right? These two guys. So it's measured very differently. So I don't know. It won't be as successful as Barney was in the 90s when there was nothing but television, right? But the way that they measure success today is so different. Who knows? What do you guys think?
Man,
Fantastic. Someone.
I just don't. I don't want Barney to be. It's not up to me. I don't want Barney to be chasing what other shows are doing. And we've spoken about this before. Barney was as big as it was because it was a pioneer. Barney was the leader of a lot of these other things that came after it because it was doing things that those shows weren't doing. And we do live in a landscape where Barney's been gone since 2010, kind of, sort of. So, like, you have all these other giants that are coming in, Coco Melon, the Blue's Clues and You, these other reboots and stuff that are coming in Bluey, and they're kind of leading the charge in terms of these like AAA, big, large scale productions and stuff for kids shows. And now Barney's coming in as like, I'm this sort of old head, but I'm new now. I just don't want them to think that they have to chase Coco Melon, they have to chase Bluey, because if they end up doing that, it's not going to be nearly as big as what they want it to be. Barney can't start a leader and then start following. Exactly. That's not, that's what's so frustrating. And it's not even just Barney. A lot of brands now are doing that. It'll be a company that buys an old property and, now we want to start everything new. And then they ignore everything of what it was that made it good. I just hope Barney's World does not do that.
Well, also, unfortunately, it's coming out in a time where coincidentally it's kind of chasing ghosts. I mean, we have the new Winnie the Pooh series, which I have not heard nothing about.
Well,
so I don't think nobody likes that.
I don't even know if you would call it a series because they're like 2-minute episodes.
Oh,
they're doing Winnie
They
the Pooh
literally are.
stuff?
They're more of a short thing other than a series.
Okay, so scratch that. I mean, people that were inspired by Barney. So like Dora, we already mentioned
Blue's Clues, Bear in the Big Blue House.
Right. Well,
Bear in the Big Blue House isn't back yet, but they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, the Backyardigans. I mean, like the people who were inspired by this one property are coming back first to where now the current IP owners are going, hey, this brand started this. Why not just kind of relaunch it to make our own thing and make our own money?
Yeah, exactly. Hedge, she has to say hi now. Someone says, I have a question in regards to Mattel and the current status of the classic seasons not on streaming. Is Mattel okay with fans sharing the original episodes online if they won't do it themselves? I mean, that stuff has been on YouTube for years now.
For years,
look up "Sing and Dance with Barney" on YouTube. There's one upload that has 215 million views.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
They're
does not deserve it.
If you want to see them, I want to go back to a comment somebody made on Facebook. Brooks said, "I would love to see a queer character on the new Barney. I remember the inclusion in the original Barney when they had a girl who's blind, a boy who was deaf, and a girl who was in a wheelchair, or have a child with autism in the new Barney as well." They didn't specifically say it in season 12 of Barney and Friends.
See, I always got the notion.
What?
I always got the notion that she was just shy, like she was one of those like introverted kids.
Right, but the idea that like she didn't want to play with Baby Bot because she was very comfortable in doing her thing the way that she does it,
right,
is very much speaks to people, autistic people and things like that, where if I have a set way of life that I'm used to, anything that comes in and interrupts that throws it off a little bit. I kind of always saw that character as that, even though they've never specified it. I could see that. I think talking about adding queer characters or things like that into a show like Barney or any show, the pushback for me, and this is just from my point of view with like me doing Clubhouse, the pushback for me that I think people have is when it's thrown in people's face and forced on them, right? Like, this person is this, and you have to refer to them as this and this, right? Versus no one would care if the character just existed in the world of Barney. They interacted with them as they interact with every other being that's around, and then they moved on with life. It's only a problem when people are so bent on the fact that like you have to do it this way and this is the only way and you don't have to do all of those things. So I think, and who's to say there isn't a character like that in Barney's world, right? I mean, right now we're thinking, well, David's mom doesn't have a husband, right? Because we never see them talk about him. We don't see. Maybe that character could represent that. You don't know, and you don't have to say anything about it. They just exist like everyone else exists, and then you move on with life. So I don't think Barney would be a place that it couldn't happen, or it couldn't exist. But I don't see them if someone does exist in that way that they're gonna make a big deal about it. Personally, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you guys think differently, but I don't see them.
I just don't want Fox and the other right-wing media outlets to just run with this and put fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
that's my one fear. Because they have been known for doing that. But it could happen. It's just like how they go about it or how they teach that lesson.
Yeah,
because there's no one specific writer. I mean, they've hired like at least maybe 12 writers to flesh out this whole 52 episode season. But
yeah,
you never know.
Anthony says a non-binary dino would go hard, but I feel like they probably wouldn't go for it. Yeah, I mean, that's what this isn't Barney, and I'm not trying to plug my thing, but we have a new movie coming out on Monday. We created a new character who is technically non-binary. We don't put a gender-specific pronoun on them, and it's up to whoever's interpretation. You could do something like that, and you never have to call to it. It's only a problem when somebody specifies it, and then there's all this backlash, right? It could work in a world of Barney where everything you're respectful of people, you're accepting of people, and the differences between us and that kind of thing. It will work perfectly in a series like Barney. But I don't know if they're probably too corporate to do something like that because they don't want to deal with all the whatever else comes with it. I don't know.
Right.
Edge, you joined us late. Obviously, we've been talking about Barney's World. You were part of when it leaked. We saw it. Obviously, now we see it officially released. Is there any thoughts that you had earlier that's changed now, or like what is your whole thought of Barney's World now that it's finally here?
I just think I remember when we first saw that first episode and thinking it was just sort of fun. And I watched it again this morning, and I still think it's really fun. I really like the kid characters. They have this sort of dynamic where you can tell they're not just sort of written to be written, and they have this friendship, and they're like kind of the way that they banter with each other is very realistic. And I think it's really fun. I like the different things that they do with the animation, like Billy playing with his tail and like helicopter. I just think fun is really like the only word I have for it. It's exactly what I would have wanted an animated Barney to be. It is kind of funny. You can tell it's the first episode because there are times where a character will talk and then another character will start talking, but then that first character, their animation will stop. It'll freeze. And it's very visible. If you look for it, David and Barney, it happens a lot in that first episode. Barney will say something, and then David start talking, and Barney's like, and like no breathing, no nothing. And yeah, I just thought that was funny. But like,
there's one I know what you're talking about because I noticed it earlier too. When near the end of the episode, but before they start singing "I Love You," he's talking to his mom.
I love me too.
He's talking to his mom and like helping his sister, and it's like blink and you miss it moment. You can clearly tell they took the cursor of the mouse and moved Barney specifically to that spot, and then he starts walking.
Yeah, you can tell it's the first episode, but I'm sure it gets better later on.
What I don't like so far about it is like obviously all of this is imagination, right? They're imagining this grape jelly, they're imagining this castle, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they ever mention imagination in this show though. Like it's implied that they're pretending, but they don't. And like that was a big part of Barney. Like you can pretend to do this with your imagination, right? They're just changing it because it's animation, but they're not specifying like, we're using our imagination. And for a young kid, that's something even as an animation you can teach to them. Like, hey, you can pretend to see these things just like we're pretending. I wish they would mention the word imagination more,
especially considering it's in the theme song too.
Right, yeah. And it seems like the adults don't see it, so they kind of like hint at it. Like, yes, these are imaginary adventures. That is strange.
Huh. Another thing that I don't like, you guys have to go back and watch it. When BJ first comes on and he's flying, he's talking about like how his tail, look at it go, like I'm flying, and he laughs before Baby Bop pulls him down or whatever. Jonathan, is his last name Tran or Tan? Tan. His laugh goes longer than BJ's mouth is open. And then I noticed today, and I was like, you could have just like cut it and post it. Like, why'd you just let it stay there? Like his mouth closes and you still hear him giggle a little bit. And I'm like, why would you do that?
I'll have to look back at that. But what makes it worse is that's a long shot of them just being the only things on the screen. So like I guarantee it's probably very visible.
I just hope Mattel doesn't get a very stern phone call from another very famous brand that uses a character who uses his tail to fly.
And it's also yellow.
That's not original.
anyone wants to know what I'm eating, it's my partner D made me some sausage potato soup.
We don't care because D didn't come on and say hello.
And she didn't make it for us.
And she didn't give us any.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring, but not in Hedge's house.
Not in Hedge's world. Potato soup
I'm the
is
only
everywhere.
one who eats over here.
Eat your potato soup. Shut your mouth.
Would it be preferable dinosaur? Let's talk about that. I hate so much. It sounds like it's almost like not made by a real person. Like how fast and like jumbled the words are.
It's so
in
funny.
the theme song. Like it bothers me so much that like a lot of those lines like in the theme song comes very quick, like to the end of the like previous line. Man,
I love that a lot of the time it doesn't really means anything either. My favorite line is "Shake your dino tail and dance some more." Like, what are you talking about? What does it have to do with anything?
Man, yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the comments real fast. Just a reminder, we are doing a giveaway of a poster that was created by Hedge with the idea from Kaylin of a gorillas inspired poster of Barney.
Ooh.
You can win this. We are giving away 2 instead of just 1. The only thing you have to do to be inserted into the drawing is to click either the link at the top of my YouTube channel, or it's in the comments. And Kaylin, can you repost it again?
He's not even paying attention.
Just so it's there. All you have to do is click and put your first and last name. There's a couple I see on here where people are like putting thoughts, and I appreciate that, but we're needing first and last name instead. Otherwise, we can't insert you into the drawing. So yeah, do that for us. Otherwise, let's take a look at some more comments.
Thanks,
what
Carol.
Saying here, what's happening?
No,
Did you say thanks? Thanks for what?
no, don't worry about it.
All right, fine. April thinks Kaylin's Barney shirt is cool.
Thanks.
I think so too, April.
We all are.
We all you knew it. We all are.
AJ says, I still don't like how they strapped the concept of Barney coming to life from a doll. That's the thing I did not like. Why did they have to do that? I have no idea. And neither do we. That tree is a very stupid idea. It's okay. It works in this world, but I don't understand. Especially, and then to keep him looking like he's made of fleece. So he's not a costume. He's not a toy, but he looks like he's a toy. So like, what is it? Does he have like a skin rash, or like, why does his skin look like that? I don't know.
I will say,
I saw Jen in the chat too. Welcome in, Jen. She's just hanging out for a little bit.
I will say, I also don't understand the Barney bench, and I'm kind of like, I don't see why he did it, but I'm also kind of seeing it in real life. So me, for example, I work in a jewelry store, and literally in the middle of the store, we have a table,
a Barney bench,
exactly. Like we have a table with seats around it and a carpet that we just call our like our jewelry heist, like planning spot. It's not really what it is, you know what I mean? We just kind of sit there and hang out until somebody walks in, and that kind of reminded me of what they sort of do in this show.
Yeah, for sure.
They need to make a life-size version of the Barney bench. I'll buy it.
They're definitely making one for like promotion.
A lot of the stuff.
Shipping's $200.
A lot of the stuff is definitely going to be toys. Let's talk about what we're also not happy with Mattel. That we found out earlier today. So earlier today, apparently, they're sending out Barney's World like packages to what they are calling influencers. So like, there's a Barney hat. There's one of the candles. There's that recent mini Barney backpack. A card of like the Barney's World art artwork.
Like key
but
art.
they're not sending it to anyone who is a Barney fan or anyone. Hedge, Barney Builder, T-Ripic Tributes, Sonic Hawk, anyone who's actually done anything in the community and using their platform to help push their character, none of them are receiving anything. And it's very strange to me that you're sending it to a bunch of people that no one who follows them cares about Barney, clearly by the reactions.
Can I explain this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I use X, Twitter, every day. And I have, I want to say a little over 4,000 followers on Twitter. I forget who said it in the chat. Somebody sent us the link to the tweet where this person got a promo box for Barney's World, and I follow that account. It's called Screen Rant. They post about movies and all kinds of stuff. They have 270,000 followers. For reference, that's 1/4 of a million. That's a lot of people. I had to scroll so hard, like so fast through these posts to find the Barney's World one. And they said something like, Barney's World, check it out on Cartoonito and Max or whatever. And it had a photo of like everything in there. 12 likes. 12. No one even said anything.
That's
and I'm
so
sitting
funny.
here, I'm looking at it, I'm like, if you could have given a promo box to anyone in the Barney on Instagram, and you would have gotten at least 1,000 likes in the first few hours, maybe.
Yep.
It's like, I just think the marketing is very strange right now. It just started technically, but like, it's very weird. I don't understand what they thought was going to happen.
I feel like their idea was, hey, the media outlets that really cater to this specific age group aren't going to talk about this. So why not talk about, why not, just, package these together, ship them out and be like, hey, we wanted to, give this to you out of, the kindness of our heart. Please talk good about our series.
Yeah.
That's it.
Honestly.
And, it's just sort of...
They are the Hedgehog says, Mattel, these fans love our Barney posts. Let's send products to someone else besides them. That's exactly what it feels like. And it's almost a slap in the face to people in the community who have been doing real work and keeping the brand alive. That I don't know. I don't like that they aren't considering other people.
And somebody messaged me on Instagram being like, why didn't they send you? And I'm like, I don't want anything from them. I just think when I see stuff like this, it's so weird because it almost feels like the show is being sabotaged. Like,
yeah, I think it's just like the print. Did he cut out?
He's still there.
No, was
Head was frozen.
Oh.
What I was saying though, like I think it's just the principle of it all, right? Like we're not saying, hey, send us this stuff, we want free things. We're just saying
it would be nice.
Come to the actual fan club and show them that you actually care about them, especially since they're the ones keeping your brand alive. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand it. Just as a quick note, enter your names into the giveaway only once. Entering it more than once does not give you a better chance. I still will only put your name on the list once. But then that gives me more work that I have to fight through to see that you put your name multiple times. Just do it one time, and I promise that I have it here. Thank you. Let's see.
Barney's World. Great jellies everywhere.
Just hiring an impressionist to do the voices non-canon. I mean... Yeah. Andrew, I really hate to say it, but I kind of think Barney's World is really only meant to be a cash grab. I mean, when you look at what Mattel is, they're a multi-million-dollar corporation, probably billion-dollar corporation, and they are a toy company. This is not their thing. Television and movies is something they're trying to venture into. They are as big as they are because they make toys. Specifically, they were making toys for Barney back when Barney was the classic stuff. Like, so of course, everything that they're making is also in a way to then be able to be turned into a toy. That's what their bread and butter is selling toys. They're definitely going to use that. Like putting the Hot Wheels car in the show. Next, you're going to see Barbie walking down the street. But she still doesn't move her mouth or anything, and she's still very much a doll.
And she'll be voiced by Margot
She doesn't
Robbie.
come out of a box.
Margot Robbie.
Let's wrap up the conversation about Barney's World. If there's any last minute things you guys want to say or mention, and then I want to move into a couple more things and do the drawing and then end this thing. Any other things that you guys comments as well, like if you're on Facebook or in the YouTube, any last minute thoughts or ideas or things you want to mention about Barney's World before we move on to eventually close this thing out?
We haven't talked about the other Dino voice. We touched on Billy a little bit. It's surprising that they got a guy to do the voice. I guess what their idea was like, hey, it's a boy character. Let's get an actual dude to at least kind of and fluctuate the energy of a 7-year-old or whatever age he is now. So that's pretty cool, and he does an okay enough job in my opinion.
I love his voice a lot.
Yeah,
he's like a skater dude.
Yeah.
And Bryn McCauley as the voice of Baby Bop, excellent, very excellent at that.
And I think it's important to mention specifically for Bryn, she specifically stated that she looked to Julie Johnson's portrayal of Baby Bop to get inspiration for how she was going to portray Baby Bop. So I don't know if the other characters have done that, other actors have done that for their characters, but I do appreciate that at least one of them did go back to the classic. And so in a way, a part of that show is in this show because they went to the source of who that character was to begin with.
What do you think about it? Like, multimedia wise, there's no other person who's done the voice, if you don't count like the live shows and merchandise that they pushed out a couple years back. Same with BJ. Like, there's only been one, voice actor.
There can only be one.
Series wise, so it would make sense for her to do that, and she, it's sort of almost spot on. But
yeah,
I'm just glad that she kind of took that from inspiration and said, okay, let's do it.
For sure. Super Psychic says, I love Bryn's Baby Bop voice. She sounds so cute and just like old school Baby Bop with a hint of Carol Farabee too. It's a good way to put it.
She's good.
Brandon Marquez says, I think that as a compromise, they should keep Billy's name as it is, but have the others referred to him as BJ as his nickname.
Yeah.
Okay.
That could have worked, but then again, you're still hearing BJ, right? You're not hearing Billy, which I think they were trying to get away from people calling him BJ, unfortunately.
The fact that people already know him as BJ too is going to create this sort of mixed signal where it's like, oh, so he's BJ still, and then people are going to refer. No one's going to use Billy if they still hear, like you said.
Like, but kids will, which is interesting because my daughter, who's 3, watches the shows. She loves Barney's World. Now, like every time I come to get her from daycare, she's always like, "Dad, do you have something to show me?" Like she's wondering if like another episode just came out. But she also really loves the classic stuff, like Backyard Gang all the way through. When she watches classic Barney, she refers to BJ as BJ. When she's watching Barney's World, she calls him Billy. So like somewhere in her brain, she differentiates the two, but still understands that it's Barney. So for kids, they'll just probably flip flop to whatever they're watching. As us adults, though, yeah, he's always BJ. I mean, I think they probably even refer to him as BJ. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Even though Billy is a great name, it's still 2 syllables like BJ is. But for some reason, BJ is just, I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. That was for you.
It's like the Twitter and X. I think when they changed X.
No,
Twitter. Like I still call it Twitter.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. Yes, it is. That's what it is.
They're on. Madison says it's the same problem. Oh, I guess he was talking about earlier when we were talking about Barney's World and Mattel. Power Rangers is going through the same thing right now. Is that true? Had you're a Power Ranger?
I won't get into the entire thing, but
okay.
Yes, Power Rangers right now, as of yesterday, they're selling off everything from the past 30 years. Every suit, every helmet, every monster, every prop,
Seriously?
every behind the yes, literally everything's being auctioned off from the past 30 years. They don't want anything to do with it. So I mentioned Power Rangers here and there when we talk about Barney and what Barney is doing, because it's very similar. What's going on? It's very upsetting.
This is Hasbro, right?
Yes.
And that's their like main competitor.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Hero Days.
Let's see. What are some other comments over here? Someone said, and they do sing in their own way instead of in his or her own anyway. Explain. What are you wanting us to explain? The fact that they changed it?
His or her
Or was
anyway.
that a response to somebody else? I don't want to explain what I interpret it as. I want you to tell me what you want me to explain. Because I don't.
I like it.
I don't know what that meant.
Show your work.
Someone says because immature people will be like, hey, because BJ stands for. But you know what's funny though?
And they're right.
I think that speaks to the fact of the people who own the brand, right? Mm-hmm. You know how weird of an adult you have to be to go into a room and go, we have to change this because of this. Like no kid ever thought about that until you weird people started doing that. Like as adults was doing that. Like kids aren't doing it, adults are. So like they could have left it and kids would have been perfectly fine. It's just immature adults who do that thing. It's so strange. I don't know why they. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? Wait. Hedge likes Power Rangers? No, that was a joke.
I hope that was sarcasm.
No, he loves Power Rangers. Check out Hedge on Stage. Check out his YouTube channel.
Nobody likes that show. Anyway.
What was the song what were you singing? What show?
In Barney's World.
With the paper purple dinosaur. Okay. Fantastic. Let's move on then, folks. Some other things that we wanted to talk about here. As some of you know, some of you probably don't know, there is a new podcast that is coming out that is being done by CPTV, Connecticut Public Television, which is the station that Larry Rifkin was the head of, that brought Barney to PBS back in 1992. They are doing a podcast, documentary style podcast called Generation Barney. It says here, Generation Barney is a super de-duper podcast about the media we loved as kids and how it shapes us. It's about Barney and friends, but it's also about music and toys and nostalgia. Most of all, it's about the television that helps us become who we are, from the station that launched Barney into the world. It's a great podcast. They've talked to cast and crew from the show. Bob Singleton will be featured in there. David Joyner will be featured. Steve White said he also spoke to them, so he'll be featured. I don't know who else from cast and crew are there. It sounds like in the teaser trailer, there's one of the kids from the show who's on there. But there's also fans on there. I'm appearing in that podcast as well. So is Andrew Olson. And then there's some other fans who don't want to be mentioned, who will also be in there, but people that you know and love in the group. It's the people who are doing it are the people who are responsible for bringing Barney to PBS. So they care about the brand, right? But more than that, the specific person who hosts it, she's a Barney fan herself. And so, we know we had the other documentary, and it's a mixed bag because it wasn't what everyone wanted them to focus on. This is very specific about what Barney was how it impacted fans, how it impacted the people who worked on the show. And I think it's going to be a great podcast. I only agreed to do it because they were Barney fans. They legit cared about the show. The questions they asked, knew that you could tell they had details about the show. Like, they aren't just people guessing about this thing, right? It's only a mini series. It's only 7 episodes. They're 30 to 35 minutes. It's all audio. I wish it was longer, but it's not. The first episode premieres on November 12th. Actually, 3 episodes premiere on November 12th, it looks like. And then the other ones air, I think, every week after that. So you'll get a 3-part first, and then some more. But it's only 7, 30 to 35 minutes. I think it's going to be something great for people to check out. I don't think I can share the audio here, or else I would just play the teaser trailer, but I don't think it'll play. Can you guys hear this real fast?
What Barney instilled in me is what.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here, let's play it.
Instilled in me is what he instilled in all of the children who watched him, you know, which was an openness, curiosity, playfulness, love.
Barney taught me how to be a man. Taught me how to understand the power of love and how love can flow through moments that if there is no love, it just kind of seeps through. Let's get this out of here.
I love you, you love me.
We're a happy family. With a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? That song.
So that's teaser 2 of the 2 that they released. Just listening to it, it sounds like what we wanted a Barney documentary or podcast to be, right? Encapsulating.
I'm sorry, who was that at the end?
That was Joyner.
That was David Joyner.
At the end.
That was David Joyner. Okay.
Crying. Before him, it was Bob Singleton singing. We mentioned, I think Kaylin and I mentioned, like, anytime David Joyner does something like this, he cries. And I think that speaks to how powerful playing that character was for him, but the impact that that character had on everyone who was in that show, just as much as the people like us who watched it. I'm very, very interested to see, or to hear, I guess, what other stories are told on there. I know, like I said, I'm in it, so I talked about my upbringing, the show that I created now because of this show. I know Andrew is in it, Andrew Olson, and some more Barney fans talking about their experiences. I wish it could have been more people, but as small of a podcast as it is, and as short of a time span it is for each episode, it would be super hard to do that. Hopefully more things like this comes out. But if you were somebody who enjoyed I Love You, You Hate Me, or if you were somebody who didn't enjoy that documentary and wished they stuck more to what Barney was and the actual story instead of personal stories, this podcast seems very promising. It touches on one episode, some of the negativity backlash that the show got, but 6 other episodes are all about how Barney had an impact on people now who are puppeteers or who are showrunners like me, or how they had an impact on the people who made the music or were in the show. So this sounds like what it would be that we wanted it to be. So check that out. November 12th, you get 3 episodes right away. And then I think each week after that, they release 1 episode. So yeah. Moving on, aside from that, let me go back over to Facebook, make sure we're not forgetting anybody. Okay, another thing that's happening, as you guys know, we are very, very, very close to hitting 3,000 members on Barney History Fans. Excuse me. So that's great. I'm still fairly new as an admin. I'm going on my 2nd year, but Kaylin, like we mentioned, was there from the very beginning. And so was Andrew, obviously. and Kaylin spoke to it in the very beginning about how amazing it is that this show has grown to what it is. What this group has grown to what it is. Everybody,
No, it's a show.
Yeah, everyone working together to preserve the integrity and the history of this character that we love. Because of that, I think I don't think it's overstepping to say that we are, even though they don't give us the credit, we are the reason why we have a reboot, whether you like it or not. We are the reason why Barney has not died out, because of how that character touched us as kids growing up, and now how we work to preserve it and have all these different friends that growing up, I'm sure all of you feel the same way that I did. I thought it was only me. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't go to school and talk to friends about Barney like you could find somebody talking about the Ninja Turtles or SpongeBob, right? And so to find a group, all these groups, I'm speaking specifically about ours though, because it's our stream right now, but to find all these different groups with people in them who have a commonality of just loving Barney, whether it's the voice actors or it's the body actors or it's the show as a whole or a specific generation, whatever it is, we all share that love. So it's an honor to be a part of this group with everyone. And like, you just feel at home because you can talk about these things that you can't talk about with anyone else. They don't understand it. They don't have the history, and that's great for us. What's going to happen for once we hit 3,000 followers, we're going to do a major giveaway. And that giveaway, right now, there's only one sole prize that we know is going to be given, and that is Orion Dagger, which everyone knows of, most of you know of, who builds, he built his own Barney costume at one point. He does a bunch of studio dolls. He is making a very specific, is it second generation Barney? It's like season 4 Barney doll for us to award to one of the members for free as part of our huge giveaway. So that's what the biggest thing is that's going to be given away for that. So once we hit 3,000, it might, even if we hit it before the year, it's probably going to happen after we do our holiday stream and all that stuff. But just keep an eye out in the group for when we are talking about what that next stream looks like and that giveaway and things like that. Any comments or things from any of you that you want to mention?
The second prize is a Barney themed spoon. We're really excited for who's going to win the spoon. It's going to be white and purple. Nobody's laughing. Cereal. I'm going to move on. I see not a smile, not a laugh, not a.
What? I said it was going to be partnered with the Barney cereal.
And I know if Kaylin's not laughing,
first of all, the spoon's going to be purple and green because every object in that show has to be Barney's colors.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's keep that out the way first. If it's not marketable, it's not going to be the color.
Barney spoon, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
If it makes heads feel better, I laughed. Joanna says, I'm gonna need that spoon. All right, so it's just gonna be the spoon that we're giving away instead. No need to put a bunch of work into a doll when everyone just wants a spoon.
Chat, let me get a spoon in the chat real quick, please.
Should we go ahead and
Tristan says, what would Barney cereal taste like? And it would just taste like Captain Crunch, but worse.
Should we go ahead and talk about the products that they leaked? They themselves leaked and then deleted.
But they didn't. It was another person. Hey, Hedge, did they respond to you?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, so what was it called? McHale Design?
Something like that, yeah.
So today, okay. So over the past, was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday.
Yep.
They're a design brand company, and they do design work for the cover and box art of products and snacks and stuff for a lot of different brands, Hello Kitty included. So they posted on Instagram, I think it was 2 videos, and they were both Barney's World. And it was the cover and art for like snack products, crackers, juice, and stuff like that, and jelly. And it was up for maybe 10 minutes. I don't remember how long it was up. Then it just got removed. It mysteriously just got completely removed. And then this morning, the account, for whatever reason, sorry,
Yeah, like a
for whatever
Q&A.
reason, they posted it was like a Q&A AMA. It was like, ask me anything.
Right.
So I put it upon myself, and I said, is it true that Barney is on the portfolio for your business? That's all I said. And the answer, and a drum roll, they didn't answer the question.
I knew it.
So
I'm glad
to me, that's an admission,
drum roll
but I
sound
can't
effect.
confirm that.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe
Barney. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say I don't think they answered any question. I don't remember seeing anything, but I don't know.
I feel like when the second trailer and some of the other like shorts and music videos dropped, I guess they felt like that was their cue to reveal what their products are going to look like. Because I think I was the first one to I think I was the first one to find it because I was looking through the official Instagram's, tags because people tag them all the time. And I saw that and I was like, huh. Okay. And then like you said, like 10 minutes later, nope. Take it down. Which is pretty funny. But
yeah,
it's still in the group. I posted it. I will not delete it because what are they going to do?
I mean, I don't know.
You know what I mean? So
all right. Well, we're running up on 2 hours for this thing, so I think it's time to start wrapping this thing up. We're gonna do the giveaway next, but keep in mind next Friday is our regular worst episode Barney episode stream that we do here. So tune into that. That's 7 p.m. Central. We're looking at season 8. So keep that in mind and join us. Hopefully, if you're someone new who hasn't seen that or hasn't joined us, please join us. It's a lot of fun. Just taking a look real quick to make sure we got the last of everybody. I'm closing the voting right now. So if you did not put your name in, I'm sorry. But we are going to make sure I have everyone, and then we'll share the screen and do the drawing here. So 1 second.
Ooh, I feel a dance coming on.
That's what I'm talking about, Barney. Says somebody, I don't know.
All right.
Silence is very awkward. Let's sing.
Let's not sing because you're going to sing the terrible song. Oh, dear.
I knew you were going to I got you.
Listen to me, I got you, I got you, I got you.
Get up in there.
It took me 2 days.
It took me years to.
I knew that was gonna happen.
It took me years to.
It took me 2 days to memorize those steps.
Okay,
to memorize the
what's
steps
happening right now. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know why it looks like that. Hold on.
Ew.
Yeah, right? I don't know why it's like that's not how it is on. Maybe. All right, here we go. Cool. All right, so we have all the names here. 41 entries. We're going to click it twice. Again, 2 people are going to win. So here we go. Here's number 1. Again, if you win, you have 24 hours to reach out to us to claim the prize. If you don't do that, we will move on to someone else. Hopefully the people who didn't stay around watches the replay. Otherwise, here we go. Winner number 1. Joey Tantillo. All right, that's number 1. So congratulations, Joey. I hope you're in here somewhere. Good job. Reach out to me directly, Karan Stark on Facebook to claim that. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. Matthew Garcia. So congrats, Matthew. All right, those are our two winners. So Matthew Garcia and Joey Tantillo. Reach out to me, Karan Stark on Facebook, to claim your prize 24 hours. Otherwise, we will move down the list to the next person. Thank you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting with us, having these conversations. Thanks for being a part of our group, helping us get to the 3,000. And here's to many, many more from there. Thanks to Hedge, you came in later, but we mentioned you guys in the beginning how this is your first stream as moderators with us, as an official Barney History Fan stream. So thank you and Billy for joining us and helping us keep the group running the way that we have been. And obviously thanks to Emmy and Kaylin. I think besides our worst Barney episode stream, the next thing that will happen, I'm sure, is our annual holiday stream. So keep an eye out for that. It's not too far away. Otherwise, I think we can say goodnight. Cool?
Cool.
Let's do it. Let's shut it down.
In
Have a good night, everybody.
Barney's world.
Goodbye, everyone.
Yes, I do.